I've never said this stuff out loud, so it's it's kind of crazy that I'm just gonna say it now, but I think a lot of people don't know that people struggle with things like this, and I think talking about it would help people, who may be going through a similar thing. So I think that's something people don't know enough about. People tend to think like, oh, you come out and that's it. Like, you come out once and you know who you are and you're fine. And honestly, that's not the case. I came out when I was literally 12 years old. There was nobody else coming out when I was, that young. It was a pretty big deal, and I was like, wow, like I have it figured out. I know exactly who I am, and I never have to worry about it. But something that a lot of people, and I think even the gay community, wants to act like doesn't exist, is internalized homophobia. I would see people who looked kind of similar to how I look now, wearing whatever they wanted, dressing however they wanted, doing whatever they wanted, and it made me upset because I literally didn't think that, I just couldn't imagine having the courage to do that. And I think what it really was is just me being mad at myself that I didn't have the strength to do what they're doing. And in this world, everyone wants to fit into boxes, like gay, straight, woman, man, like there's so much in between, and that was something that I had to come to terms with when I was starting to express myself. I'm like, wow, I feel so positive, like when I'm in women's clothes, like I feel so positive when people think I look feminine, like I must be a woman then. That's what these signs all point to. So I actually, I really wanted me being trans to solve all of my problems. I really thought that if I was to just transition into a woman, like I wouldn't have any of my other issues, but that's regardless of what part of the LGBT community you fall into, you're still a person, and you're still gonna have, trials and tribulations, and, figuring out what label you identify with, that's not gonna cure everything. And I actually was at the point where I did start taking steps. I was on medication for a week or so. I was taking, estrogen, hormone replacement therapy, and with that, I had to take a deep look at myself. I was like, I'm taking this medicine, like I should be happy, like this should be changing, it should be changing my whole life. And I know that's the feeling that it should have been. And I know for so many trans people that is exactly how it is. Like they feel like that's how they always were supposed to be. And I think it's such a beautiful thing. My biggest fear about sharing my story is that it would discredit trans people. Because that's the last thing I want to do. Trans people are so beautiful, and I celebrate them as part of our community. But for me, it wasn't my journey, and I really wanted it to be. I thought if I had a name for who I was, it would just make it easier. But regardless, the main point of life is to enjoy being alive. If you're constantly searching for, oh, maybe this will bring me happiness, maybe this will bring me happiness, that's not a way that you're actually going to find happiness. You have to love yourself in every stage, every form that you're in. And I can't sit here and say, I know exactly who I'm going to be in 10 years. Because I don't, to be completely honest with you. I'm still figuring it out. But all I know is that every day I'm getting closer to, being my most authentic self. Every day I wake up and I say, hey, how do I want to look today? What do I want to wear? How do I want to present myself? You know what? That's how I present myself. So, whether it's some days it's more masculine, some days it's more feminine, but at the end of the day, I'm me. There's only one me, and I feel like that needs to be celebrated, and I deserve it to myself to allow myself to be me.